Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Jane and I am a chemical engineering PhD candidate here in New York, in the United States. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the challenges of studying abroad. First of all, I am an international student, right? So that means I traveled from my country to the US to study. And there are a lot of people like me, thousands and millions of students like me, who left their country or their continent to the US or Europe or different countries to study. And there are a lot of challenges that we face that people don't usually talk about, or no one prepares you for the things you're going to see. Sometimes a lot of people just get overwhelmed by the idea of going abroad to get their dream degree, pursue their dream career, or whatever they want to do, without being prepared for the things ahead of them. I know what I faced when I got here, so I'm making this video to share the challenges I faced. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is cultural shock. Cultural shock is a very big deal. Like, let me give an instance. So one time when I was in my first year, I saw someone in the morning, like we were together at night, then we said goodbye to each other, and then the next day we saw ourselves. And me trying to greet, we're greeting each other actually. I was like, hey, how you doing? How was your night? And the response I got was like, what? How was my night? I did nothing. I went to bed. I slept. Why would you ask how was my night? I'm like, whoa, okay. The country where I come from, you greet someone, good morning, how you doing, how was your night? And the response you would get is, oh, fine, I'm doing good, thank you, whatever. I didn't know that asking someone, how was your night, means I expected them to have done something last night, maybe something, I'm not gonna say, but something not so nice or not so cool, whatever, last night. And so me asking how was your night means kind of, what did you do, tell me about what you did, or something like that. I was just asking the way we ask in my country. So that was cultural shock. The next other cultural shock experience that I had was one time I met this friend, not a friend, I met this girl the first day, and we just like bonded. We went to places together, we talked like old friends, even though we just met ourselves for the first time. We talked so much, and in my mind I was thinking, oh, now I have a friend, cool, awesome, my first friend in this school. Then the next day, okay, that same day, we actually went to class together. We literally sat down together, took classes together, classes ended, and we left. Then the next day, I come into class and I see her, I'm like, hey, and she just walked past me. Like, she literally saw me, our eyes met. In my mind, I was like, maybe she didn't see me. Maybe you know how you be looking, but you're not seeing. Maybe she didn't see me, it's fine, we'll talk later after the class. And the class ended and she just walked past me and left. I'm like, wait, is this not the same person that I was with yesterday? We even went to have lunch together yesterday. We talked so much. We went to class together. I thought we were friends. So that was weird and funny, but as time went on, I realized that she wasn't even the only one. There also like a couple that did the same thing. Like, they will see you today, say hi to you, and the next day nobody's talking to you, unless they actually want to make you their friend. Then of course you guys officially become friends and be talking all the time. But that was cultural shock. That one, it's a cultural shock. The second challenge you're going to face is the food. If you're someone like me that love to eat, but I love to eat, I love to eat. Then imagine that you love to eat and then you find yourself in a place where you can't get anything good to eat. Now, I'm not saying the food you get won't be good. Of course, they'll be awesome good. But for someone who is just coming, most times you would find it difficult to enjoy the food if they are not something you are used to before, right? So when I first got here, we would go to different restaurants, and almost all the time I wouldn't be able to eat my food. Like, not like I don't want to eat the food, I would be hungry, I would put the food in my mouth, but it just tastes so bad that I would have to spit it out. It was so bad, like so bad that my friends got used to me. So whenever I want to go eat, they'll be like, are you sure Jane will be able to eat this? But that took me a while. It took me a while, but now I eat whatever. bring it on and I'll eat it. So it took me a while to adjust for my taste buds to adjust the kind of food that I wasn't used to. So now I eat them and I enjoy them. So that's one of the challenges you're going to face. Another challenge you're going to face, I don't really know what to call it, but I don't know how to phrase it, but I'll just tell you a story to show you what the challenge is. Imagine being in a classroom, lecture is going on, and the professors say something, and everyone in the class laughed except you. Like you actually hearing ha 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 ha, everybody laughing, but you're not laughing. Why? Because you don't get the joke. Like, what did she even say? What was funny in what she said? Why is everyone laughing? I was there. Like, I've been there a couple of times. The professor will say something and people will find it funny and laugh. And I have no idea what she's talking about. Like, I don't know what she said. Like, what was funny about it? Probably it's something that happened in this area and you're maybe it's kind of popular before I got here and they know about it and it's funny. So that's why they laughed. So me that is coming from abroad, I had no idea what they're talking about. So when you find yourself in that situation, you just have to look. If you want to smile, smile, act like you're laughing. But for me then, I just used to sit and be like, what is going on? Yeah, that's one of the challenges you would face. Another challenge that you face is the weather. Though this is not in all cases, depends on where you come from and where you go to. I come from a country where there are only two types of seasons, the dry season and the raining season. So during raining season, all we have is rain and cold, but not like extreme cold that you have to wear winter coats. No, just wearing a normal sweatshirt or jacket is fine, right? And then there is the dry season where we have like this dry air. I don't know how to describe it, but it's kind of dry, the leaves dry and stuff like that. Then I moved to a country, not just a country, I moved to a city where I stay in upstate New York, right? Where the weather is almost as that of Canada because it's very close to Canada. The weather gets so cold, the snow falls for like almost 5 to 6 months in a year. So imagine the adjustment I had to go through. But it wasn't really that difficult for me because I don't know the type of body that I have. I don't feel so cold like other people. Like, I feel cold but not as much as other people do. That's something that I noticed. So it wasn't really bad, but for some other people it was really bad for them. Like, some people fall sick, some people develop dry skin. I actually developed dry skin like my first year here, my first winter. Oh my god, my face was literally drying. I was applying lotion, but my face was literally drying up and all of that. I think it was I go to church, my pastor's wife that actually recommended something for me that I use up till today that worked for me. So that weather, so if you find yourself in a place where that the weather is extremely different from what you're used to, that's going to be a very big challenge, right? A very big one. So that's one of the challenges you face when you study abroad. Another challenge you're going to face is the challenge of being different. Oh my god, especially if you're black like me. Imagine being in a class where you're the only black person. I've been there a lot of times. Like, I've been to classrooms where I am the only black person. When I got admission, I think we were like, I'm not sure, maybe 9 excuse me, we were like 9 or 8 or 10. I think it's 9 that we admitted, both masters and PhD during my time. And out of this 9, I was the only black person. So I remember one time we had this first year meeting, and I was the only, of course we were all there, the 9 of us or the 8 of us, I think, and I was the only black person as usual sitting there, and everyone else is like talking in their language, and I'm just sitting there all by myself, like. And that was another interesting thing that happened was when I first got here during the international student orientation, I was looking forward to meeting other people, making friends, meeting other both blacks and non-black people. But I got to the hall. It was a very big hall, mind you. This international student orientation was for all the international graduate students in my school that year, and I was literally the only black person. I think maybe the other black people came in later on, because I kept on looking, but I couldn't find anyone else that looked like me. So imagine the attention that gets me. Imagine the attention that, because some of those students, Asians from the Midwest, from different countries, coming here to study, some of them have never ever seen a black person. I'm not joking. I've had a lot of weird questions being asked. Like, people ask me a lot of weird questions because I am black. So imagine how that makes you feel. So after that student orientation, a few days or a few weeks after that, whenever I meet someone new and I kind of introduce myself, and if the person was also like in the first year, then when I introduce myself, the next thing you hear will be, "Oh, I saw you during the orientation." And in my mind, I'll be like, of course you did. I was the only black person. I mean, there were hundreds of students in that hall. There's no how it's possible that you saw everyone, but of course you saw me because I was the only black person there. But mind, this is not the case in all schools. There are some schools that the black population is really high, so you will see a lot of black, even people from the same country as you. But for me, I don't know what happened that year. I don't know what happened. I didn't see any black person. So you're going to face the challenge of being different. I'm not saying it's a challenge, but it's just that it draws attention to you, and it makes people ask you a lot of questions that, if you're not a very open-minded person, you might find some of the questions offensive. But for me, I used to read, I used to watch a lot of movies, foreign movies, even before I came to the US. So I'm used to like Americans, Asians, or different countries. So it wasn't more of an issue to me, but it was real. Like, I actually still felt it. I went through it. Imagine making braids. Like, what I'm carrying is braid. One time, someone asked me, I think the guy is Asian, he asked me, "Oh, your hair, how do you do it? Do you take it out every night before going to bed, then you put it back in the morning?" I was like, really? Really? Like, so you looked at my hair, and what came to your mind is that this thing, I take it out every night, and in the morning after washing my hair, put it back on? Like, how? But it's actually fun for me. I find it to be really fun when people ask me. I find it to be fascinating when they ask me all these questions, though some people might not take it the way I take it, but for me it's actually fun when I'm being asked all these questions. And then some people will look at you. I remember one time, it was just about my hair. They'll be like, "Your hair, why is it this way? Why is it that way?" Because some of them have never seen someone with my type of hair. As a black person, you have this kinky hair. Now, kinky has a different word in the US, but if you're black, you know what kinky, like coily hair or whatever. Some of non-Africans, they have never seen someone with a kinky hair, so they find it fascinating when they see your hair. Be like, "Oh my god, can I touch it? Is this your real hair? Is this?" It's a lot. So that's some of the challenge you face. For me, it's actually fun. I don't find it I don't see it as a terrible thing. For me, it's fun when people ask me those questions about myself. And another challenge you face is the challenge of the language barrier. Oh god, up till now I still face the language barrier. Up till now I still face the language barrier. I still go through it. And what is language barrier? Language barrier is you talking and people not understanding what you're saying. First of all, I come from a country where English is our official language, right? I come from Nigeria, mind you. English is our official language. British English, not American English. I speak English. I have been speaking English right from when I was born. But imagine coming to a place where when you talk, people don't understand you, as if you're speaking a different language. Oh my god. Seriously. Now, it's funny because the difference between what you're speaking, first of all, Americans speak American English, but in my country, we speak British English. But the difference between what I speak and what a real American speak is the accent. I have an accent, obviously. Americans have American accent. British people have British accent. I have Nigerian accent, so it's not a bad thing, right? But the challenge is most times you talk and people don't understand you a lot of times. And I'll have to literally like spell what I said, or have to like say it slowly. Actually, I learned that in order for you to speak for people to understand you, try to speak slowly, and if possible try to drag your words so they understand what you're saying. But sometimes it's frustrating. For instance, whenever I go to a place that I have to give them my name, I mean, my name, Jane, is easy. Jane is an English name, which is my first name. Everyone can spell Jane. But my surname, which is Aguara, people can't spell that. So now, before, when I go and I tell them my name, they'll be like, "Oh, can you spell that?" So now what I do is, once it gets to a place where they have to write down my name and they have to write it down themselves or type it down themselves, all I do is, when it gets to a surname, just say A, G, W, or you say A for apple, G for which was G for G for goal or whatever, and then you keep spelling. So that's, language barrier is actually a big deal, especially if you're going to be doing a teaching assistantship job where you have to teach people. So imagine being in a classroom and you're teaching students and they don't understand what you're saying. That's a very big problem. But with time you get over it. It's either they'll get used to you and understand you, or yeah, they'll just have to understand you. So for me, I don't know if people understand, but I would like to think that they understand me. But maybe sometimes when I say some words, they don't really get that, so they have to ask me, can you repeat that, what did you say? And I'll have to repeat myself. So there are a lot of challenges that we face as international students, but yeah, but at the end, the experience is fun. It's fun. It's really fun. I enjoy it. I have no issue about it. It's part of the experience of life, and I've always been someone that loved traveling. Like I love traveling, so I've already conditioned my mind to be used to some of these things. So it wasn't like a big deal that much to me. But to you, I don't know how it's going to be to you. So my advice would be that you should try to be open-minded. Try to learn. Don't get offended when people ask you some kind of questions which you're not used to. If you find yourself having cultural shock, don't worry, it's normal. With time you would get over it, you get used to it, like you'll get over it. And whatever challenge you face when you go to study abroad, don't worry, just give it time. With time you be fine. Yeah, I think it's just time, because for instance, I talked about how I found it difficult to eat the food here when I first got here, and it wasn't even easy to get a place to buy my African food because there was literally no Nigerian restaurant. Even up till now, there's no Nigerian restaurant where I am. There was only this Ghanaian restaurant, and they are closed now. So it was really difficult, but now I'm fine. I'm cool. I enjoy. I can literally go to the restaurant and eat their food. I enjoy, and I even have like a special. I'll be like, oh, I love, my best is Mexican. I love Spanish food, and now I love Indian food. Talking about Indian food, my first experience with Indian food was the very first day I got to the US. The very first day I got to the US, I had to stay because my apartment lease was supposed to start a day after I got to the US. So I was looking for where to stay for the first day. So I had to stay with, I was referred to this Indian girl to stay with her. She was really nice to me, really, really nice. She was really nice. So I stayed in her apartment and she offered me food. She made a very nice food for me. The thing is that if it is right now and she gives me that food, I'm going to enjoy it. But that day, that night, oh my God, it was too bad. Like I couldn't eat it. I actually wanted to cry. Imagine traveling hours from one continent to the other and then you're so hungry. And then it's late at night and they give you food and you can't eat it. It's like, it was so bad. The food was good, but because I wasn't used to it, I remember calling my sister. I was like, I can't eat this. I really cannot eat this. What am I going to do? I can't eat this. But now I love Indian food. Today is Sunday. On I think it was on Thursday. On Friday, I ordered Indian food. I ate Indian food. Now I love Indian food a lot. I love Mexican food. I love Indian food. I love Spanish. Yeah, I think my best is Mexican then Indian. Yeah, and that's my best. So it's like I said, it's just a matter of time. With time, you get used to these things, and the key is being open-minded, being open-minded and receptive, willing to learn, willing to accept this thing. You'll be fine. I feel like I've talked so much in this video, and it's so long. This might be my longest video. Anyways, thank you so much for sitting with me through this video. I think this is like my first story time kind of video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like the video and drop your comment in the comment section. If you had to travel abroad, please tell me what you experienced, the challenges you went through, or if you're planning on studying abroad, if you have any question you want to ask me, please put it in the comment and I will attend to you. And also, if you've already subscribed to my channel, thank you so much. I really do appreciate you. But if you've not, if this is your first time coming here, or you've been coming but you've not subscribed, please click the subscribe button and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.